Hello, welcome to our presentation. Today we're going to be learning about volunteering with Ladder Up and the Volunteer Tax Assistance Program. This is the biggest program that Ladder Up runs, in addition to all of our other services that we offer. But this is a really exciting volunteer opportunity because it gives you the opportunity to learn some new skills, gain some new insights, leverage your professional experience, to work for working people, and really the most exciting part is that it puts money directly back into the pockets of working people. That's really what we're here for, and that's really what we're most excited about doing. So we're really thrilled to have you joining us. So let's get in and talk about the steps and how to become a Ladder Up Tax Assistance Program volunteer. So, the problem that we have today is that working families are still struggling despite working extremely hard. Nearly a third of people in Illinois are considered low income, but incomes under 200% of the federal poverty level. In Chicago, that number jumps to almost 40%. Women, children, and people of color are disproportionately affected by poverty. So this is an ongoing problem, and we want to continue to work to solve it and to get folks the resources that they need so that they can be creative, resourceful, and whole and live their lives as they see fit. So one of the biggest and most important things that a lot of folks don't realize is that annual tax refunds are critical to helping people meet their basic needs. In some cases, these refunds can be up to 25% of someone's total income for that entire year in one fell swoop, all in a windfall check. So this is really critically important. From the research that we've seen, folks typically spend these refunds on paying down medical debt, paying down credit card debt, paying for a car repair that they've been waiting for, or a home repair, putting groceries on the table, starting a savings account, or a retirement account. So this is really getting money back to people that really need it. And so that's what's so interesting about this opportunity in particular. The only issue is that paid tax preparation doesn't always guarantee accuracy. Based off of what you're able to afford, when you go and get your return prepared privately, there are no overall certification standards for private tax preparers. So when you go to pay someone to have your taxes done, you could be getting somebody great that does a great job, knows exactly what they're doing, or you can get somebody that's not as skilled or not as good. There are no overarching certification standards for this industry. The IRS does not regulate this industry in that way. So this is definitely a problem, especially because as working families, a lot of the folks that we serve are eligible for what's called the Earned Income Tax Credit, and this is the most effective anti-poverty program in U.S. history. So we want to make sure that folks have access to that credit that they have worked hard for and earned, but unfortunately, paid tax preparation at this level, again, because they don't have those types of accuracy standards and quality standards across the board for the industry, we don't know. You could potentially be getting your taxes done and be leaving hundreds or thousands of dollars on the table in terms of earned income tax credit just because the person that you're working with doesn't know the exact right way to file for it. So on average, a typical working person, working family, on average will spend about $300 out of pocket to get a simple, straightforward return prepared. So that's a lot of money to cough up front for this service. So here's our founder, Bob Burke, the founder of Ladder Up, essentially saying low-income families have the least money but often pay high fees for poor quality service. This is absolutely true. Back to that $300 figure that we were talking about. So this is something that applies across the industry. So what Ladder Up is here to do is we're here to change that. So hardworking folks have two options right now. They can pay hundreds of dollars out of pocket for a service where there aren't any guarantees of quality, or there are no guarantees that they'll receive all of the credits for which they're eligible. So they can choose to do that, or the other option is to have IRS certified volunteers who are trained specifically to find those credits, prepare the returns with clear quality standards, and a 93% accuracy rate, totally free of charge. To us at Ladder Up, the choice is very clear. We want to offer this service for free for folks, offer them a high quality service, and put money back in their pockets, save them the $300 on average right off the top, and then work hard to get them those credits that they deserve. So to us, the choice is very clear. And that's essentially what Ladder Up does. We were founded more than 25 years ago. Actually, along with us, there was another organization called the Center for Economic Progress. They were the two largest single providers of these services in the state of Illinois. And as of 2018, we've now merged. We've come together as Ladder Up. So it's really wonderful because now we've expanded our reach. We're able to help even more people, serve even more people. But we don't just do taxes. Taxes is the vast majority of what we do. But we also provide college financial aid applications, FAFSA work. We offer financial education and coaching. We even have a tax clinic to where if there are controversies with the IRS, we have a network of pro bono attorneys that will work hard for our clients, go to bat for them, go to court for them, whatever the case may be. So we offer a lot of other incredible services. So we offer people the financial resources and opportunities they need to move up the economic ladder. That's what's really important about us. So what we're talking about today is the Tax Assistance Program. We have those other great programs as well, but the Tax Assistance Program is the bread and butter of what we do. It's the largest program that we do, and that we've been doing it for the longest. So we recruit, train, and deploy over 1,000 volunteers every single year to provide low-income taxpayers with free tax return preparation, free of charge, and ensuring access to an array of tax credits, including that earned income tax credit. By operating over 20 sites located throughout the metropolitan Chicago area and Springfield, we're now up to 24 sites, in fact, all throughout Chicago, the suburbs, and then one site in Springfield. Ladder Up serves more than 20,000 Illinois taxpayers every single year, totally free of charge. We file their returns for them, and we secure crucial tax refunds. That's what we do, and we're really, really proud of our long history in doing so. So here's our impact, right? We want to show that we're getting something done for working people. And that's exactly what we do. So since Center for Economic Progress was founded in 1990 and Ladder Up in 1994, since we have merged together as one entity, our combined impact, we've had over 35,000 volunteers come out in the course of those 25 years. And together we have generated a combined total impact, economic impact of $1.2 billion. Billion with a B. We do that by serving over 739,000 clients. We prepared over 593,000 tax returns. We've returned over $839 million in tax refunds to working families. And we've also secured an estimated $338 million in financial aid awards for students through our FAFSA program. $1.2 billion in economic impact. That's $1.2 billion in money back in working people's pockets. That's what we're here to do, and that's what we're excited to have you do with us as a volunteer. So clearly, we've been doing this for a long time. We're the best at what we do, and we're looking to have you on board so that we can continue doing that. We're only limited by the number of volunteers that we have, so coming out to serve is critically important, but we're obviously making a great change, making an impact in people's lives, and we want you to be a part of that. But here's the problem. Despite all of those impressive numbers, despite everything that all of our accomplishments, every year Ladder Up has to turn away clients who need our services simply because there are not enough volunteers to meet the growing demand. But you can change that. By getting involved as a volunteer with the Tax Assistance Program, you can ensure that every single person that is eligible for this service has access to this service. That's why we need you involved today. So there are all sorts of great reasons to volunteer with Ladder Up. Not only is it one of Chicago's largest volunteer workforces, but again, we're talking about real tangible economic impact for folks. We're talking about each hour of time donated by a Tax Assistance Program volunteer translates to approximately $1,137 in refunds given back to a Ladder Up client. How many volunteer opportunities out there can generate $1,100 in economic impact for an hour of your time? It's pretty incredible. You also have the other benefit of networking with other professionals, not just from, accounting and banking and finance and things like that, but from a variety of industries. The vast majority of our volunteers don't have prior tax experience. We provide all the training that's necessary. You grow professionally by learning new skills, connecting one-on-one with clients, earning an IRS VITA certification. VITA stands for Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. That's run through the IRS. And most importantly, by saving families those tax preparation fees and then looking for those credits that folks have earned, you're really putting money back into the pockets of working families right where it belongs. So we have so many great reasons to be a part of Ladder Up and to be a volunteer with us. So let's talk about the different roles. This is kind of the overall process of what a volunteer, or of what all the different roles that a volunteer can take on. And it also shows the kind of client process. So we'll walk through the client process and go through each one of these roles individually. But essentially, the process starts with we do our initial screening, we review that client's tax situation, we prepare their return, and then one of the reasons why we have such a high accuracy rate is because we quality review every return. We check every single return that we do to make sure that it's accurate. So that's how we're able to guarantee such a great, accurate service, totally free of charge to our clients. So let's walk through this as if we are a client. As a client, you're going to go into any one of our 24 tax sites, and the first person that you're going to come into contact with is the intake screener. So the intake screener's job is to check to make sure that that person has all of their appropriate tax documents, puts down their information on our list so that we can follow up with them. Basically just checks the person in. A greeter type role, but it has some really basic functions in that way. So if you love greeting clients, if you want to be the first smiling face that somebody interacts with, this is a great opportunity for you. So you just do our online training prerequisites and you're all set to go there. And this is a great opportunity for Spanish speaking volunteers as well. So we can, really connect with all the different folks that we serve. So this is a really great opportunity to get started with. And the training is pretty straightforward. So that's the intake screener. So then once the intake screener checks in that individual client and gives them their intake sheet, the client's going to go down and sit down and fill out that intake sheet. It's going to ask them all sorts of questions about their year that they've just had, their financial situation, all of those types of things. And this can be kind of confusing and kind of intimidating. But that's why once that client has filled out that intake form, they begin working with our case reviewer. So the case reviewer, for the training prerequisites, you're going to pass the IRS tax certification exam, or if you have previous experience as an IRS VITA volunteer, you can also serve in this role. The case reviewer is really neat because the case reviewer is going to sit down one-on-one with a client. They're going to go through with a fine-tooth comb that intake form. They're going to ask any follow-up questions, make sure that nothing is marked unsure or uncertain. They're really going to be walking through the entire process, asking follow-up questions of that client, making sure that they understand their tax situation. The case reviewer will figure out what kind of credits that person is eligible for, what's going to be the best filing status, all of those types of things. It's a really, really wonderful role for folks to get involved with. And then once that happens, in addition, the case reviewer is also going to make sure that the client is within scope. Based off of funding, based off of grants, we want to make sure that we are serving working families that can really benefit the most from this service. So certain tax situations are out of scope for us. The case reviewer is going to decide whether or not those things are in scope. So you're a good fit if you've served in a VITA program or you're just really excited about working one-on-one with clients. If you like figuring out a puzzle and kind of asking questions and kind of learning more about people, this would be a great role for you as well. Then what happens is that our client then gets a card with a number on it, and once that number is called, they're ready to go back and speak with a tax preparer. Tax preparer are the vast majority of our volunteers. That's the bulk of our volunteer workforce. And the more tax preparers we get, the more folks that we can serve. All you got to do is pass the same kind of basic training requirements in the IRS certification exam that we have for folks. And essentially, you'll be taking that intake sheet. You'll be sitting across right from the client. You'll be inputting that information into our Pro Series tax software, asking any follow-up questions. Really, the point of this tax preparer role is to make sure that those returns are filled out accurately. accurately. We have all sorts of checklists and on-site resources and materials to help walk you through it to make sure you're doing everything right. We also have great site leaders and experienced volunteers that are always happy to jump in and help you out and answer any questions. These tax sites are really like small families. Everybody's really invested in helping each other out and helping everyone learn. So this tax preparer role is a great place to start if it's your first year coming out to volunteer with us. The other neat thing is that by certifying as a tax preparer, you are thereby qualified for all of the other roles we previously talked about, the intake screener and the case reviewer. So just by taking this one training path and certifying as this one type of volunteer, you can bounce around to different volunteer roles, which is really exciting. Gets you more flexibility, lets you have a little bit more fun on site. So this is all about just accurately putting in the information, asking up any follow-up questions, things along those lines. Then what happens is the tax preparer, once the return is put into the tax prep software, the client will get an additional numbered card, and once that number is called, they'll go and meet with a quality reviewer. So the quality reviewer, if for this particular role, you do have to pass the same IRS tax certification exam that you would if you were a tax preparer. But for this, it's a little bit of a different role. We will, if it's your first time volunteering with us or first year volunteering with us, you'll actually be recommended for this role if we think that you would be a good fit for it. So the quality reviewer is a critically important job. It does a variety of things. First of all, a quality reviewer is going to go through the return line by line with the client to make sure that everything is input accurately and correctly. We want to make sure this is that second check, that second set of eyes. You don't need to be a tax expert to do this quality reviewer role. If you know where things are supposed to go, and again, we also have checklists and sheets to make sure you're on point and doing it properly. As long as things are put in their right place and the questions are answered properly, you're pretty much good to go. So this role is definitely, you don't need to be a tax expert to do this role, and it's a wonderful opportunity. So the quality reviewer checks that return, make sure that it's accurate and that everything is in its proper place. Then the quality reviewer will note some feedback for the tax preparer and hand them a sheet at the end to say, hey, here's some things that you could improve upon, here's some things that you did really well, or that quality reviewer can recommend a tax preparer to be trained as a quality reviewer. So that's how we get new quality reviewers. But possibly most importantly, not just making sure the return's accurate, not just giving feedback to the tax preparer, but the neat thing about this role is you get to sit down and go through the return line by line with your client. So it's not just, hey, here's your return, here's what your refund is or what you owe. You actually go line by line and say, this is your adjusted gross income. This is why your return looks the way that it looks. This is why your refund is this much, maybe more or less than last year. Maybe you want to adjust your withholding, all of those different types of things that you would learn in training. So this is a really great opportunity because it's not just about giving the client the return and saying, this is what you get ultimately at the end of the return, but this is essentially telling that client, here's how we got there. It's not just what it is, it's why your return looks the way it does. So this is a great educational piece too. Really empowers our clients so they really understand what's going on with their tax situation, helps them out in the future. So it's a great educational opportunity too. Quality reviewer is a wonderful role. So let's talk about training and certification. Like I said, the vast majority of our volunteers have no tax experience prior to volunteering with Ladder Up. We provide all of the training that's necessary. And we do that in two ways. There are two steps to doing this. There's the online modules. We have an online learning system, so you complete these at home, at your own pace, wherever you have an internet connection. It includes training on volunteer standards of conduct, tax site process, provides a comprehensive overview of tax law and concepts, and it must be completed before that in-person class. So this training is going to really cover 95% of the situations that you're going to encounter on a tax site. For that other 5%, we have a great team of site leaders and experienced volunteers that are always eager to jump in and answer questions to make sure we're delivering a great service. So don't be afraid to ask if you're on site and you have questions, go right ahead and ask. Everybody's willing to help. So once you take those online modules and you're all done with that, then what you would do is that you would go to an in-person training and certification. So that's where you would come and you would learn about you would come to a location. We have some public trainings, we have some private trainings, but you would come to a location. This is about a 4-hour class. The first half of that class is going over our Pro Series tax prep software. So we're going to show you exactly how to use the tax prep software that you're going to be using on site. Then the second half of that is actually going through and taking the IRS VITA certification test. We have proctors and trainers there that are walking around to answer questions, to offer support, to help. We want to see you succeed. We want to get you certified, and we want to see you come out and serve at a site. So like we said, they're available here at the Ladder Up main office downtown Chicago, as well as multiple locations in Chicago and in the suburbs as well. So once you have completed your online modules and then you've taken and passed your certification test, you are ready to go and serve at any one of the 24 sites that we have open and available. You set your own hours. You can schedule yourself through our Volunteer Hub platform. It's really up to you what's going to work best for you. So we can fit into anyone's schedule because you essentially make your own volunteer schedule. So we really do everything in our power to make sure that folks are trained and prepared, and so you're confident when you show up your first day at site. So you're doing all this, you're doing this training, you're learning these new skills, you're offering people a really incredible opportunity to save some money. We ask for a commitment from all of our volunteers. Our volunteers are incredibly passionate about helping others, and they're eager to make a difference in the community. So we have a commitment that we ask of all of our volunteers because it ultimately helps both the volunteer and the client. It helps the volunteer because they get their sea legs, so to speak. They learn how to do everything on site. They get the hang of the flow. And in addition, it's great for our clients because that consistency of having folks come out, it ensures that we can serve those people so that we don't ever have to turn anybody away. That's our goal that we want to get to one day. We don't want to have to turn folks away who can benefit from this service. So what we ask for all of our volunteers is we ask them to commit to coming out 2 times per month during the tax season, which lasts from February 1st to April 15th. This translates to about roughly 6 to 10 hours per month, or about 18 to 30 hours total over the course of the entire tax season. Last year, the average volunteer served about 25 hours. Some folks do a little bit less than that. Some folks do way more than that, and we are always happy to have them. But that's what we ask for, so that you can learn the process, you can feel confident and comfortable going to a tax site, you can get the most bang for your buck in terms of, think about it, if every hour is $1,100 in economic impact and you serve 25 hours in a season, wow, that's a pretty incredible economic impact that you're making in the lives of working people. So there's that. And we ask that if it's your first year volunteering with us, we ask that you please try to complete your first 2 shifts or sessions before March 15th. The reason why is that we want you to get comfortable with the site, ask all the questions, shadow somebody, get some on-the-job training. We want all of that to happen before March 15th comes. Because, obviously, as we get closer to tax time, more folks are going to be showing up. The sites are going to be getting a little bit busier. So we want to make sure our volunteers, know what's going on. So if it's your first year volunteering with us, we ask that you complete your first 2 sessions before March 15. That's going to be best for you and best for our clients. As you can see, we have 24 locations with Saturday service times. Some of these locations will have weekday evening hours. You'll just need to go to our Volunteer Hub website to check that out, or you can go to GoLadderUp.org to find that out. But we have all these sites. Look at all these locations all throughout Chicago and then all throughout the suburbs. So you pick. Some folks choose one site that they go to religiously. Some folks bounce around to different sites as they please. Some folks pick a site that's close to home and pick a site that's close to work and serve at both of those. It's up to you. You go and you serve where you wish. You have that flexibility. And the other great thing is that while some of our sites do offer weekday evening hours, every single one of our locations has Saturday hours. It's going to be like a 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., a 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., something along those lines. Saturday morning shifts. So we really can fit into anyone's schedule. And you can set your own schedule through our scheduling platform, which is really great. So you have lots of options of places to serve. So the bottom line is you have a power to make a difference in someone's life today. We can't tell you enough how incredible of an opportunity this is. And we know that the first time you sit down with a client and go through their documents, and find out, hey, you actually qualify for an additional credit that you didn't think that you were going to get. When you tell a client, hey, you're going to save $300 on average today for your tax prep fees. Hey, we're getting you a $500 refund today. When you explain a tax return to a client and you see them understand their situation and feel more confident and feel more comfortable. Once you come out once and volunteer with us, you're going to be hooked. The number one reason people keep volunteering with us is because of the gratitude of our clients. Our clients are so grateful of the service. They're wonderful people. Our volunteers are incredible people. So this is a really great opportunity, and we are so thrilled to have you. So the next steps are really straightforward. Visit goladderup.org/volunteer. We have all sorts of information on how to get started. We have instructional guides, all sorts of videos for you to learn how to use our online scheduling platform, all of those types of things. It's really wonderful. So you can go to goladderup.org/volunteer to learn more about volunteer opportunities and roles and training and all those types of things. And once you're ready to go ahead and register to volunteer. You'll go to goladderup.volunteerhub.com. That's where you can go to get started. You'll create an account, you'll start your online training, and you'll start your journey as a volunteer there. Also, we always ask everyone to tell 3 friends about us as the last step. Word of mouth year after year is the top source for new volunteers, and we want you to tell other folks about it. Like we said, once you come out to one session, you're going to be absolutely hooked. You're going to feel great knowing that you've built up some new skills, use those skills to put money back into some hardworking people's pockets and really make a difference in their lives. So we can't stress enough how incredible of an opportunity this is. We know you're going to absolutely love it, whether you have a tax background or not. You're going to be doing something really positive for people and for communities. So tell your friends about us and come on and join us. If you have any questions, you can always email volunteer@goladderup.org. Again, any questions, the volunteer engagement team is here to help you and support you every step of the way. Email us at volunteer@goladderup.org. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you at the tax site.